Why we gain weight. You watched the video and excerpt from the book An Easy Way to Regain Health and Lose Weight, The Time Machine. Link in the description under the video. With every meal, even with a light snack, sandwich, chocolate bar, apple, pear, coffee with sugar, etc., the pancreas produces insulin. What is insulin? Insulin is a growth hormone. It absorbs sugar in the blood, causes cells and muscles to grow, participates in the formation of new muscle tissue, prevents muscle atrophy. Some bodybuilders even take insulin or consume carbohydrates to increase its levels and increase muscle mass. It would seem that this is a very useful hormone. But why do people with hyperinsulinemia, excess insulin, often develop muscle atrophy? Contradictions of insulin. Contradictions of insulin. Insulin helps absorb potassium and magnesium. Fact, but people with hyperinsulinemia suffer from a deficiency of these minerals. The higher the insulin level, the lower the potassium and magnesium levels in the body. Insulin has a powerful anti-inflammatory effect. Fact, however, in type 2 diabetes, when there is a lot of insulin in the body, inflammation only intensifies. Insulin, an antioxidant. Fact, however, in type 2 diabetes, when there is a lot of insulin in the body, inflammation only intensifies. Insulin is an antioxidant, but people with excess insulin experience oxidative damage and complications from diabetes. Insulin lowers uric acid levels. Fact, however, in hyperinsulinemia, uric acid levels are elevated. Insulin dilates blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. Fact, but with metabolic syndrome, a person has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and prediabetes. Insulin reduces glucose production in the liver. Fact, however, people with prediabetes and diabetes often wake up with high blood sugar levels, the morning dawn phenomenon. What is really happening? 1. How insulin works. Beta cells in the pancreas produce insulin and release it into the blood in response to rising glucose levels. Insulin interacts with receptors that regulate its production. If there is too much insulin, the body blocks its binding to receptors. The body is smart and realizes that it does not need so much growth hormone, especially for people after adolescence, when the body has already grown. 2. Why does insulin resistance develop? Frequent insulin releases due to large amounts of carbohydrates and sugar cause the body to defend itself. It blocks the receptors to prevent uncontrolled cell growth. The result is a situation where insulin produced by the pancreas enters the bloodstream, but its receptors do not accept it because the body has blocked their function. At the same time, the glucose that caused the release of insulin also remains in the blood. Insulin has not performed its function, it has not processed the sugar. The receptors continue to request insulin because the blood sugar level is high. The pancreas begins to produce even more insulin. Insulin remains in the blood but does not work because the receptors are blocked. 3. Consequences of insulin resistance. Tests show high insulin levels, but the body experiences a deficiency. Prediabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure, and inflammation develop. The more insulin there is, the worse the receptors work. The more carbohydrates there are, the stronger the insulin resistance. 4. How does insulin resistance manifest itself? Feeling tired after eating. Frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom. Constant hunger and cravings for carbohydrates. Metabolic syndrome, high cholesterol, blood pressure, sugar. These are the most well-known symptoms, but here is the complete list. Feeling hungry. Not feeling full after eating. Sleepiness after lunch. Strong craving for carbohydrates, bread, cookies, crackers, elevated insulin levels, high blood glucose levels, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, fatty liver, belly fat, dark folds on the neck, under the arms, in the groin, papillomas, fatigue during training, inflammation and pain, bursitis, arthritis, sleep apnea, poor sleep, morning dawn phenomenon, elevated blood sugar without food, slow metabolism, loss of muscle mass, loss of collagen in the joints, dizziness, depression, irritability, anxiety, acne, low testosterone. Mistakes in treating type 2 diabetes. The worst thing a type 2 diabetic can do is take insulin. It only worsens resistance and increases the risk of complications. According to medical professors, 80% of people suffer from insulin resistance. It increases the risk of cardiovascular disease by 540%, high cholesterol only by 30%. Now it becomes clear why the above facts seem contradictory. A person has a lot of insulin in their blood, but due to resistance, it is not enough to perform its functions. This leads to prediabetes, diabetes, hypertension, and inflammation. How to prevent insulin resistance? Use the easy way to restore health and lose weight, hereinafter referred to as the easy way, by BIOHACKER DAIMONIX.